And as soon as I'm shot with that AK, every assaulter with a laser beam is shining on, like in my direction. I'm like, yo, it's me. Turn your lasers off. Like, what the? You know what I mean? But they just heard AK fire, you know?
Yeah.
They hit the target. We got the guys. One of the guys put up a hell of a fight with a buddy of mine. He had to subdue him. You know what I mean?
So it was a capture mission.
Yeah, capture, right. And then the helicopters like came in, rooftop, and got the guys out, lip landing, rooftop, guys off the roof. At the same time, I brought in like a National Guard SF team that was going to exploit this site further. They got off, our guys got on. Man, that night we almost got overrun by the locals. There's like 200 motherfuckers coming. Damn. So I had the gunship just start shooting around us. And I think I was like, I called the radio. I'm like, yo, we need that gunship. You know, they're like, who is this? Right. So I had to authenticate myself. And then they're like, you know, like, oh, you know, what do you need? You know, and I'm like, hey, we need to fucking keep that shit coming all night to keep the savages at bay. And I said that on the radio, right? Later, I'd go in the jock, and they had like a big sign, and it was like, keep it coming all night to keep the savages at bay, like official radio transcript party, you know? I was like, oh, I said that? That's pretty good. You know what I mean? I didn't even know at the time. And then we just started calling for fire, man, and they just started fucking shooting shit around the hills. Like, you can't sleep when they're doing that shit, you know? And then in the morning, I had to ride out with the trucks.
So you had to drive all the way back.
I had to drive, still make it back, man.
Through all those same dicey fucking checkpoints.
Yeah, back to the Jalalabad airport, yeah.
Were any of the checkpoints on the way back, did you run into any problems with those?
Yeah, still the same fucking be clever and shit. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't there yet. You know what I mean? You might be running for the barn, but they don't know that.
Yeah. I guess, why did you have to bring the trucks back and not just like burn them or fly with everybody else back?
Because I figured if anyone watched us go in, they watched us come out. You know what I'm saying? So they would have no idea who it was, why, where, and I figured if anyone was watching, you know what I mean? Like, them trucks have to come out of there.
Like if you leave them there, then you can't use that method anymore.
Because it was kind of my target, I was in charge of the guys coming in until I left as well, and then they were on their own.
Man, that's fucking crazy. You mentioned the one guy put up a hell of a fight, and one of your teammates had to subdue him. How did that go down?
Man, I don't even remember. I remember like he was first off, it was the guy was like, I think he grabbed his rifle, and he was fighting for his rifle. He went to the pistol, but as soon as he went to the pistol, the dude was all over the pistol. You know what I mean? And then he went to like his pocket knife, but it was an auto opener, and he didn't have the space for the blade to come out.
Wow.
And like he ended up like just subduing the guy, and I walked in like, what the fuck are you doing with this guy? You know what I mean? He's like, man, fuck you. Like, you know what I mean? I forget what he said, but he just had to fucking fight it out, man, just in a moment. And you know, like I'm like only a second behind, but like that shit happens. You gotta be ready, you know.
Yeah. Were there instances of your entire career where you ever went hands-on with somebody like that?
Fucking nightly, man. Fighting with motherfuckers. Yeah. I tried to get more knockouts than Mike Tyson in one rotation. I figured if we're here for 120 nights, that's 120 knockouts. Mike Tyson don't even got that. I got to like 11, and then the commanders were like, why is there a guy always laying by your... I don't know that guy. I don't know that guy? I don't know that guy. He's a fucking terrorist. Why are you asking me? Like, and then so I only got 11.
Wow.
But nightly fighting people. I mean, no one wants to go willingly.
Yeah.
And no lady wants you to take the man in her life out of her fucking house. Like, it's ridiculous.
So you end up fighting multiple people.
Everybody, man.
At that time, were you doing ground combatives jiu-jitsu much?
Fuck yeah, man. Yeah.
And did you find yourself using that on target?
Fuck yeah, man. I used to down motherfuckers, I used it all.
What was there a most successful submission technique that you used?
100%. So you know how like in Muay Thai you do like the leg kick, right, to the middle of the thigh, and it a lot of nerves, supposed to shut it down. You know what I mean? I do that same kick to somebody's knee, and I'd either break it or knock their feet out from under them, and then I'd stand on their neck.
Yeah.
I'm not fighting.
Yeah. Game over, just like that.
Yeah, and if you're wearing slippers, great. This is going to go great for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Man, that's wild. From a combative standpoint, when did you start training like technical jiu-jitsu? Was it before then?
96. As soon as I got to the unit, they were already working with like Hoist and Horian and the Gracies, and
So you went
I kind of came in at the beginning of that shit.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so crazy story in Afghanistan. I guess going back to Iraq, not to jump around too much, but that story was phenomenal. Are there any other stories, whether it was individually? Sounds like those all kind of went off without a hitch. Were there any of the individual stories from Iraq, or any kind of unit stories where you guys did a mission together that was exceptionally memorable?
Fucking so many I can't even list. You gotta just spark that memory, man. You know what I mean? Like, dude, we did it all. You know what I mean? Like, it was crazy fucking times. And like, I also feel like, don't thank me for my service. I did whatever the fuck I wanted to do, precisely when the fuck I did. You can't thank me. You know what I mean? Like, like if there was a guy not to thank, it was like, you know what I mean? Like, probably people, I'm not that guy, you know?
Yeah. Are there any stories where you guys were using dogs that stand out?
Man, yeah. Like, we used to fuck in the beginning of the dog program, like, fuck, man, they bit everybody, man. They bit me. They bit me several times. Like, and like before we even went to Iraq, the dog fucking program in the team room, like my team room, we had like a bar height, like table in the middle of the room. Yeah. Right. And it's like, you could clean a gun on it. It had maps on it. Right. Like, it was cabinets underneath. Right. Like, and then they bring the dog in. Hey, guys, gonna socialize the dog today. Hey, after a fucking week of this, everybody nuts to the fucking table. Hey, legs closed, thighs pinched together. Like, you don't want this fucking critter getting a nut. You know what I mean? Like, he'll fucking pop it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then you take your hands and you're talking there. Yo, how was your weekend? The dog would come in. Everybody, fists clenched. Hands either crossed or tight under the chin. And you just like, you'd be leaning on the table like, man, so you have a good weekend? Yeah, my weekend was great. I kind of got drunk. And you're like looking at the critter, just staring at it like, we got drunk and I'm not moving because this critter's about to bite my dick for the third time this fucking week. And they're like, hey, anyone want to go feed him? He bit me. No one wants to feed him. They bite everybody. Yeah. So I thought the beginning of that dog program was like, just, first off, love dogs, always have. I think they're value added. I love everything about dogs. I'm a dog lover. But yo, those vicious creatures, like, I don't want to get fucking bit all the time. It was kind of fucked, you know what I mean? Yeah. So
steep learning curve.
Yeah, man. And like in the beginning of Iraq, we had to figure it out. Like, some dogs don't transition from fucking the sleeve to people, you know? Like, we had a dog. I don't remember the dog's name, but like several nights in a row, the dog wouldn't bite somebody. So like I was talking to the dog handler about it, and I'm like, yeah, we'll just I'll ragdoll somebody tonight. Make sure, you know what I mean? We'll get them all fired up. I'll ragdoll some fucking savage, you know what I mean? Like, we'll get a nut shot in no time, right? Like, so anyway, we do this, right? Like, I'm shaking this guy. He lets the dog go. And like the guy backed up over a couch, and I'm trying to hold him and he's going higher. So I stepped up on the couch, and the dog finally lunges for him and like gets my pant leg and misses my ankle, gets my pant leg. So then I'm like, oh shit. So I'm trying to get my ankle and my pant leg like next to the dude. Yeah. And then I'm going to shove the dog on the dude. You know what I mean? And like, it didn't work. None of that worked. But like, I was trying, you know what I mean? And like, that dog
just wouldn't do it.
He just wouldn't bite a person. But then we had other dogs were like walking through the western desert of Iraq. It looks like the fucking moon, and the dog's teeth are like, you're like, fucking hey, get that rifle up, boys. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, love the dogs, man.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I've seen so many people bit. Like I don't even know if I should brag about it, but like I've seen some shit. You know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with that being my primary role, industry wise or work wise, I'm always interested by it. I'm curious from a cachet standpoint. Were there a number of instances where the dogs found IEDs or things and really saved your guys' asses?
Fucking all the time, man. Them motherfuckers are amazing. Did all kinds of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we also had, my squadron. We had the first one killed on the Uday and Qusay raid. You know what I mean? And guys were pissed, like you fucking killed a dog. And it was like, my thing is like that dog could have been a person.
Yeah.
I mean, what's worse?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like as much as we love the dog, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, you guys are bad dog guys. Probably. However, guess what the dog's job is? You know what I mean? So
yeah, I mean, it's a question I get asked a lot, in being involved in a lot of the training and things of that nature. And I have the same response is that, we do our best to mitigate all the risk that we can for them. But at the end of the day, it's a dangerous job. And if it's a question between the dog ending up dying in a mission or one of our guys, that's not even a fucking decision,
Yeah.
So